Hi Tacoma, welcome back to your third grade TV classroom. Today is Friday, November 6th, and I'm Mrs. Oslin. As always, let's take a moment to check in with how we're feeling. Think about what's happening inside your brain, what's happening with your body, and then think about how strongly you're feeling that emotion. And then think about your I message. I feel because If you're not sure the name of your emotion, you can use the feelings tree to help you. Now I'm going to model sharing my I message with Rafa. Rafa, I feel relieved because I had a doctor's appointment this morning and everything is good. I am healthy. Now you take a moment to share your iMessage with your learning buddy, someone in the room with you, or with me on the screen. You'll remember that we've been talking about the stop and stay cool steps when we feel an emotion really strongly. And it's important for us to recognize when we are feeling a really strong emotion, really high on that feelings thermometer, that we stop and stay cool before we say or do something that we might regret. So let's practice going through our stop and stay cool steps. And we practice this even when we're low on the feelings thermometer, so that when we need to use them, we don't have to think about it. We know exactly what to do and how to do it. So let's practice. The first step on the stop and stay cool steps is you say, I feel like I'm losing control. The next step is you stop. The third step is to give yourself a chilly hug. So let's practice that. Wrap your arms around and squeeze. The fourth step is you practice breathing. You inhale, breathe in really deeply for 5 seconds, and then you blow it out really strongly for 5 seconds. So let's practice doing that now. After you've practiced your stop and stay cool steps, you should be ready to share your iMessage with someone. And if you're in a conflict with them, you're also going to listen to their iMessage and listen so that you can say it back, which means you say, you feel because Then you can work together to brainstorm and discuss win-win solutions to your conflict. And you'll remember it's important to find a win-win solution so both people get some of what they want and both people feel okay with how it turned out. Okay, writers, today is a big day. Today is the end of our How Writers Work writing unit. We have worked so hard the past 2 months working towards this day. We started thinking about persuasive writing, and the purpose for persuasive writing is to get someone to think like you, to get someone to give you something that you think you should have or you deserve, or to get someone to do what you think is the right thing. And we've used a lot of different texts to help us. Most importantly, we've used I Want a Iguana. And we added sensory details to our persuasive writing to make our reader really interested and really feel and experience what we want them to say or see and think and feel. We practiced mapping out our writing, organizing our thinking so that it's really clear to our reader, so we can make a really strong point. We used a revision checklist to go back and change our writing to make it stronger and more powerful for our reader. Today is probably, I would argue, one of the most important things that writers do. This is when writers reflect on their writing and set goals to improve their writing. This is where, as a writer, I go back and look at my writing again, and I think about, what could I do better? and I set a goal so that the next unit, I'm that much better as a writer. So today we're going to do that together. What you will need for today are your learning buddy, your writing notebook, and a pencil. So gather those materials and come back to me ready to reread your writing and think about how you can set goals to be a stronger writer. Go ahead. Now, the first thing I want you to do is go back to your persuasive letter that you wrote to get someone to give you something you think you deserve, to get someone to do what you think is the right thing, or to change someone's thinking or feeling. So take a moment and go back and reread what you wrote. Then, I want you to look at the question that I have on the screen. And the first thing that I want you to think about is one thing that I learned about writing during this study that will help me in the future is, think about writing strategies learned or writing tools that helped you. So think about all the texts that we've read together and the lessons that we learned from our authors. And think about the techniques that we've talked about, adding sensory details. Think about the writing tools that we've used, all of our graphic organizers and checklists. And what did you learn? What have you learned the last 2 months about writing that will help you in the future? So take some think time. And share your thinking with your learning buddy. Rafa, I have learned that it's really important to use those graphic organizers to help me organize my thinking, to make it really clear and easy to read. Now, in your writing notebook, I want you to put today's date at the top, and this is where we're going to write our reflections about our writing. You're going to write down what you learned the last 2 months about writing that will help you in the future. Go ahead and do that right now. Now, the next thing that I want you to think about is the part of my piece I like best is. This is an affirmation, and Mrs. Wally tells us all the time how important it is to use positive self-talk. So, what is something in your writing that you like that you're going to continue doing as a writer? Take some think time. Now, turn and tell your learning buddy the thing that you like best about your piece. Rafa, the part of my piece that I like best is I think my 3 points that I have are really strong points. I really thought through my opinion, and I really thought from the perspective of the person who I'm sending the letter to. Now, take a moment in your writing notebook and write down what you like best about your piece. Now, the next thing that I want you to think about is the part of my piece that I had the most difficulty completing was. Think about the stages of the writing process and which one was the most challenging for you. Was it most challenging to think of an idea? Was it most challenging to come up with supporting ideas? Was it the most challenging to add sensory details or to edit, go back through and check for spelling, punctuation, and capital letters? Or was it most difficult to revise, to add things, to make your piece stronger? Was publishing hard for you? Take some think time. Now turn and tell your learning buddy, what was the most challenging part of the writing process for you? Rafa, the most challenging part of the writing process for me was coming up with an idea for what to write about. Now take a moment and write in your writing notebook, what was the most challenging part of the writing process for you? I'll remind you that this reflection, this thinking about and analyzing our writing, thinking about what was the best part and what was the most challenging is really important for you as a writer, and this is how you grow as a writer. Now, as you continue on your journey to become a powerful writer, I want you to come up with 2 goals you would like to accomplish this year in your writing. Think about using author's craft, like word choice, details, organization. Think about different types of writing and different reasons for writing you can try. Think about what is something that you liked best that you can make better. Think about what is the most challenging part for you and how can you use that to set a goal to make it easier next time. Take some think time. Now tell your learning buddy what goal you're going to set to improve as a writer. Rafa, I think I need to read more texts from mentor authors to give me more ideas of what to write about. Now, in your writing notebook, write down your goal. Third graders, today we are finishing our persuasive writing unit. It's a big day. You thought about what you learned. You thought about the part of your piece that you like best. You thought about what was the most challenging. And you thought about what goal can you set to improve your writing. During your independent work time today, I want you to come up with a second goal to improve your writing. Also, I want to tell you that starting next week, there will be a new ELA packet that you can pick up from your teacher. So you will need that to move forward into our next reading and writing units, which is writing biographies, which I'm really excited about because we're going to read and write to learn about different people and the impacts that they have on the world around us, the positive impacts, the accomplishments, the goals that they've set and achieved to make our world better. So I'm very excited for that unit. So please do reach out to your teacher and make sure you get that new packet. As you read today, you're going to continue practicing using clues to learn new words and complete this chart. You're also going to be thinking about when meaning breaks down, which means when you're reading and you notice you're not understanding either the whole text or just a word. And you can use these strategies to help you. You're going to continue to practice staying focused as a reader. And if you're reading and you're noticing that your brain started to think about something else, come back to this chart to come up with strategies to help you refocus. Continue to add to your reading log, reading for longer and longer periods of time. And if your goal was like mine to read more and different mentor texts, this is going to be an important chart for me to come back to think about what am I reading and are there other books that I can read that would help me as a reader and a writer? Now, the materials that you will need for math are your whiteboard and marker. You should already have your learning buddy, but you also need your counters. So in your 5-minute break, gather those materials and be back here ready to go with math with Mrs. Wally. Thank you so much for reading and writing and reflecting with me today. I hope you have a great weekend and I will see you next week. Bye.
Welcome back, third graders. I hope you had a great break. It's Friday, which means we're going to do Fact Fun Friday. And today you're going to use what you know about numbers to help you solve these equations fluently. That doesn't mean you have them memorized. It just means you don't have to put out, this is numbers dealing with the hundreds, you don't have to draw out 100 of them and then cross them off. You have strategies in your brain, which we've been working on, to solve them. Are you ready? Let's go. 125 minus 50. What might you do to solve this without counting back or drawing? What do you notice? We've got 125, and we're going to take away 50. Okay, you could start at 50 and count to 125. Well, what's 50 to 100? 50. And what's 100 to 125? 25. So that would give you, 75. That's another way you could do it. Oh, Rafa, that's a really great idea. Rafa said, well, 50 is 25 and 25. If I take 25 away, that gives me 100. And then I take another 25 away, that gives me 75. That works, doesn't it? All of a sudden, a problem that seemed like, whoa, isn't so bad anymore. Which strategy are you going to use this time? Go ahead, solve. Okay. I'm going to do 70 and count up. 70 to 100 is 30, and 100 to 25 is 25, and 30 plus 25 is 55. Is that what you got? Did you get 55? Okay. Next, 135 to minus 65. So if you're at 65, let's do a number line. If you're at 65 and you count up 5, ready? 65 to 70, so I was at 65, now I'm at 70. That was how many? 5. And 70 to 100 is 30, right? Yeah. And then what's next? We're at 100. What do we do? Yeah, we need to go to 135. So we just go, boop. How much is 100 to 135? Yeah, it's 35. Well, what's 35 plus 35? 70. There's your answer. How could you check it? Yes, you could add 70 and 65 and see if it makes 135. What's 70 plus 65? 135. There we go. All right. Ready? Solve. 145 minus 75. Pebble, I'm thinking what you're thinking. Pebble said, well, 75 has 45 and 30 in it. So 145 minus 45 is 100, minus 30 is 70. Do you see how quick that is? I actually like that strategy better than the number line with these numbers because you don't have to keep track of so many numbers as you're adding up, right? So 70. 70 plus 75 is 145. All right. 175 minus 80. Well, 80 is made up of 75 and 5. Yeah, 95. Right? 175 minus 75 is 100. And then 100 minus 5 is 95. That was so quick. Nice work, third graders. Are your brains primed and ready to go? We are still working on decomposing factors. Remember, I told you we were going to do this over and over and over until it started to make sense. If at this point you're at this lesson and you still don't understand how to decompose factors, that's okay. But what I want you to do is after our lesson today, I want you to reach out to your classroom teacher and set up a conference with them on the phone. If you are able to do a video conference with them, that would be great, but a lot of you aren't able to, and that's okay. But I would like you to set up a conference with your teacher on the phone. All right? Okay. It says, today we are learning to decompose factors. Ready to do it? Decompose factors to help me solve problems involving multiplying by 9. So we're going to warm up, and then let's think about the ways we can break up 9 to decompose. Are you ready? It says, show 2 different ways to break apart 7 times 8. Then use one of the ways my words got stuck. Then use one of the ways to find 7 times 8. So let's go ahead and go to our whiteboard. And it says show 2 ways. That means you should have a line down the middle and have 7 times 8 and 7 times 8. And what are 2 ways that you could break them up? What are some ways we can break up 8? Yep, 4 and 4. What's another way you could break it up? Ooh, you could break up the 7, 5, and 2. You could break up the 8, 2, 2, 2, 2. Remember that from yesterday? Now decide, which one do you want to use? Which one works best for your brain? You decide and solve. I'm going to give you 1 minute, and then I'm going to show you the one I'm going to use. And I'm going to actually erase that line and do this, and then I'll show you my work down here. Go ahead. Feel free to draw an array if you need to. Okay, I'm going to do this one. 7, it's not times 8 anymore, it's times 4 plus 4. I decomposed my factor of 8 into 4 plus 4. So now my equation is 7 times 4 plus 7 times 4. Okay, what is 7 times 4? 28 plus 28. What is 28 plus 28? 56. So 7 times 8 equals 56. Excellent job. All right. It was good practice for 8. Now let's think about the number 9. What are ways that you can decompose the number 9? What are the ways to make 9? Do you see why in kindergarten and first grade we work so much and so long on decomposing numbers? It helps us so much when we get to 3rd grade and start working with pre-algebra, and then as you get into 4th and 5th and 6th grade, starting with algebra. Decomposing is one of the most important things you can learn. So, what are ways to make 9? Yeah, 8 and 1. 8s are hard for some people, so that one might not work for you. 8, you might have your 8s memorized, and then it would work for you. Okay, 7 and 2. 6 and 3. 5 and 4. Which one do you like best? That's what I want you to practice today. Which one works best for you? For me, it's 5 and 4. What's it for you? You decide. That's how you're going to break it apart today. Okay, so I know in my head, when I see a 9 as a factor, I'm going to always break it apart into 5 and 4 because I know my times 5s and times 4s. Yours might be different, and that's okay. All right, let's look at our first problem. This problem we're going to read, then you're going to have some time to work it out and solve and decompose and show your work like we've been doing. And then we're going to look at how some other people have solved. So Mr. Kevin, we don't need the whiteboard right now. We won't need it for a little while. So let's read, let's figure out what we know, what we're trying to figure out, and then you're going to have time to solve. The grocery store has 8 boxes of oranges. There are 9 oranges in each box. How many oranges are there in all? So what's going on in this story? Yeah, maybe that this is a grocery worker, right? And they've got this stack of boxes and they're trying to figure out how many oranges they have all together without counting each and every single orange. And we can use math to help us do that. Can you think of a time where you might have groups of something that you don't have to count every single one to know how many there are? Yeah, there's lots of things in life. Like I can think about that maybe like when I was getting candy for passing out candy at Halloween, and there were packages of gummy bears, and it told me that there were 19 packages and 5 gummy bears in each package, and I wanted to know how many gummy bears I had, right? This is the kind of math you're going to use all the time in life. So what are we trying to figure out? How many oranges there are? What do we know? Yep, there's 8 boxes and 9 in each box. Go ahead and solve. Make sure you're decomposing. If you need to draw an array, go for it. In fact, I would highly encourage you to. I'm going to give you like 2 or 3 minutes to work. All right, are you ready? Let's look and see what they did, and I want you to compare it to what you did. How did they break apart this array? So they broke apart the 9, and what did they break it apart into? What I was going to do, right? 5 and 4. Okay. Did anyone break it apart differently? Oh. What did this person do? 4 and 4. So they broke apart the 8. On this one, they broke apart the 9. Okay. Maybe they know they're 4 times 9, right? And then that would work for them. If you don't know 4 times 9, what if you did 2 times 9 like this? That would be 18, 18, 18, 18. Could you figure that out without counting every single one? Yeah. Okay, so fill in the blanks to show how you can use the 2 simpler problems to find the product. So we're going to do this one first, okay? 8 times 5 plus 8 times 4. What is 8 times 5? Yep, 40. What is 8 times 4? If you're not sure, what's 8 times 2? 16. What's 16 plus 16? 32. So what is 8 times 9 then? 72, because 40 plus 32 is 72. Now we're going to look at the second model it. How did they break apart 8 for this? I'm going to take away my green because that's not how they broke it apart. What did they do? Yeah, they broke apart 8 into 4 and 4. So it's not going to be 8 times something, is it? No, the 9 stayed the same. There's still 9 in each group. So now there's 4 groups, whoops, 4 groups of 9 and 4 groups of 9. Well, what's 4 times 9? Well, what's 2 times 9? 18. And what's 18 plus 18? 36. So it's 4 times 9. 36 plus 36. What's 36 plus 36? 72. Which way is easier for you? Breaking apart the 8 or breaking apart the 9? Which way was easier for you? For me, it's breaking apart the 9. The 9s are not my favorite. So I would prefer to break apart a 9 rather than an 8. But you may have a trick for 9s, or you may know your 9s, so breaking apart 8 might be easier for you. All right. Now, it says, break each array in a different way to find 7 times 9. Write the equations for each model and show your work. I'm going to break them, and then you're going to write the equations. Okay? So the first way, I'm going to break it like this. What would the equation be? And Mr. Kevin, I'm going to write on the whiteboard, but don't show it yet. So this equation would be what do you think? Write down the equation on your board. What equation matches my picture? You ready? Okay, Mr. Kevin, go ahead and show them. All right, this is 7 times 5 and 7 times 4. That is the same, let's read it. 7 times 5 plus 7 times 4 is the same as 7 times 9. Is that a true statement? Yes, 7 times 9 is the same as this. I can prove it with this picture. This is 7 times 9. This is 7 times 5 plus 7 times 4. Do we have the same amount of stars? Yes. Okay. Erase your board. Go ahead and get rid of the board, Mr. Kevin. Now I'm going to split it a different way, and I want you to do the same thing and write the equation. Are you ready? Go ahead. Write the equation. I'm going to write mine, but we're not going to show you yet. You have about 1 minute. You ready? Okay, Mr. Kevin. 5 times 9, that's this one, plus 2 times 9, that's this one, equals 7 times 9. Let's read the expression and see if it's true. 5 groups of 9 put together with 2 groups of 9 is the same as 7 groups of 9. Is that true? 5 groups of 9 put together with 2 groups of 9 is the same as 7 groups of 9. Yes, it's true. You reset your board. Now it's your turn. Find 9 times 9 and show your work. Go ahead. Find 9 times 9. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. Go. Keep my board hidden, Mr. Kevin.
Will do.
Okay, third graders. One thought I'm having right now is, man, when I was in third grade, I wish someone would have taught me how to learn my facts this way. I think I would have learned them much better than just trying to memorize, because just memorizing didn't work well for me. But I understand this, and it's even helping me as an adult become more fluent with my facts. Isn't that great? All right, you ready to see? Here we go. Ta-da! Now, you don't have to have it the exact same way I did it, because there's lots of ways to split it up, right? But your answer should be 81. Did you get 81? Awesome job. All right, today your assignment is to do page 175 and 176, working more with decomposing factors. All right? Sounds good. Remember, if this is feeling really overwhelming to you and you're like, I've watched it, Mrs. Wally, I've been drawing my arrays, it's still not making sense to me, you need to reach out to your teacher. Okay? Awesome. So, did we draw models today? Yes, at the beginning we did. Did we explain how we decomposed the factor of 9? Or we did a 7 as well? Yes, we did. Did we find the product? Yes, we did. Excellent job, third graders. Now it's time for our affirmation. Before we do that, don't forget, we'd love to hear from you down below. If you have a question you want to ask me about this, please email me. I will write back to you. And if you have a question that I can explain in a little video, I may even film a little video and send it back to you explaining the part that you're confused about. So reach out to me. I would love to help along with your teacher. I know lots of things are going on for lots of people. So any way I can help you, be happy to. Just email below, or you can send me a letter in the mail and I'll send you a drawing and explain it on that. Okay? All right. Our affirmation today is, my mistakes make me stronger. Because they do. I make lots of them all the time, and they make me a stronger learner. So, I'm going to go first, and then it's your turn. My mistakes make me stronger. Your turn. Great job, third graders. We will see you on Monday. Bye.
Hey kids, we want to see your work. Just send your pictures and your stories to TV Classroom, 601 South 8th Street, Tacoma, Washington, 98405.